This is my Framework Laptop 13. There are many like it, but this one is uniquely mine. It's the best laptop I've ever owned, but my problem is, outside of this very thin little bit of vinyl skin, there's no real bump protection for it, especially around the most vulnerable area, you know, the lid that holds that screen. But I've developed a solution. This Framework laptop has been, without any hesitation, the very best laptop I've ever owned. It's the perfect travel size for the digital nomad. It's modular. I'm able to change out these ports mostly effortlessly. You know, whenever I need to have something besides a USB port, I can pop it in there. And I can travel with confidence because should I do serious damage to it, like, you know, biff the display, I can easily repair it. I know, I've replaced a few of these. Everything about this machine is near perfect. There's not any computer out there that comes close. My biggest problem is, even though I have this vinyl skin, it's just not enough. I need something with some kind of bump protection around the lid, especially. You know, ultimately, everywhere would be nice, but you know, got to start someplace, right? So here it is, the design I'm finally happy with. This is, yes, rather plain and black, which is, you know, largely the way I like it. But what I especially like is that it is easy to install. It's toolless and tapeless. It just snaps on. So the way it's designed is it captures the front of the lid where the opening on the opening side, and then stretches, you know, to make it firm, and stretches around the back and just hangs on just like that. It stretches to fit over the laptop lid, securely snapping around the aluminum body, around the edge, ever so slightly over the opening end of the lid to prevent it from basically rotating away when you open it. So, you know, if I push on it, it doesn't. This was actually the biggest part of the whole design churn that I've been having. I had many design iterations to get this right. And this is not even all of them. This is most of them. Some I actually are in testing with some people. But I got it down to essentially this. And I know it's maybe a little bit pedantic, but I had to get it right to be, you know, satisfied with it. So I started with TPU 95A, which is more flexible, but it's difficult to print nicely, and also even with the lip, it kind of rotates away unless I make it a much thicker border. I can revisit this at some point in time, but it just wasn't bad, but I just didn't like it. One of my solutions was to use double-sided sticky tape to keep it on so it didn't rotate away, but I didn't like that either. I even started making it tighter, but that didn't work either. Yeah, so I just moved away from this, went to TPU 98A. And then also I have another frame too, like a thinner frame. I think I like the looks of it better. So also just to remove it, you just gotta stretch it back off. Pretty easy to do. It probably could be a little bit looser. I don't know. But I think the smaller frame has to be a little bit tighter. So I think maybe the small one looks better. I don't know, I'm back and forth on that. For my son's framework, I gave him a 12 millimeter. So this is 6, here's 10. I gave him a 12 millimeter. He liked the thicker, more armored look better. But I think that's a little bit too thick visually. I don't know, what do you think? So what I like, this is easy to put on. It does take a bit of effort to stretch it from the opening side all the way to the back. It provides just a bit of bump protection on the screen, which is basically where I have been most likely to hit this machine is on the lid someplace, usually on the edges. So it does protect there. And you know, it does provide a little bit of smash protection this way too. Not a lot, but like when I pack this thing in my bag, I'm not putting as much pressure on the center if I have, you know, it up against something here. So I think a little more protection in that regard as well. I am mixed on how tight this should be on the laptop lid. Not because I believe it'll do any damage to the lid itself, but from the user perspective, installing it, I don't know, I wonder if this is too tight for most. I don't think this is any worse than something like an OtterBox to install on a tablet. But the point is here. The point here is just to protect the screen, just give you a little bit of a fighting chance. You know, if it's really hard to take off, I suppose you can use something like a spudger just to push this little bit of lip away from it. I did make one other design consideration based on my son's feedback. So the protection along the back, I did narrow this down right at the hinge area so that when you do open this up all the way, you can actually get 180 degrees. Well, actually just shy. It's like 179, but it's pretty close. And I don't know how many people actually open up their laptop this far. Maybe it's a lot. I don't know. But I didn't want to fully sacrifice bump protection on the back. I never open up my laptop that far, but that's some other area I could use some feedback on from users. I'm using this for my Framework Laptop 13. I'm very happy with it. I'm using it on my son's machine as well. I do feel like it gives the machine just a bit of a fighting chance against minor bumps. It's not as tough as what the Framework Laptop 12 provides by default, but it's better than not having anything at all. I'm also in the process of deploying about 40 of these at my workplace to help protect those machines as between hybrid users that are in the workplace and home and those that are in more harsh parts of the plant. I like to preserve this, what I believe is a great long-term tech investment. Now, I would like to also finish my concept for the lower, but I'm a bit doubtful I can get this to work without double-sided sticky tape or some other experimentation with magnets, perhaps taking advantage of the magnets that are in here. But I do have some ideas, and I'm working on the CAD now, so I guess we'll see how that goes. So what do you think? Is this a good idea? Would you want one on your laptop? So hit me up, leave me a comment, or email me at cubiclenate.com. I'd like to know. Thanks for watching.